What is up, LEGO fans, and welcome back. Alex and Josh with you here today. Hey, well, there he is. He was hiding behind this new LEGO set that we picked up today. Joshua, what is this thing?
This is the LEGO Typewriter.
The LEGO Ideas Typewriter. This is officially set number 21327. Has 2,079 pieces and retails for $200 US. Now, I gotta be honest, when I saw some earlier reviews of this thing, I thought this was going to be around 150 US dollars. So when I saw that price tag, I thought, what? That seems pretty high to me. So I have very high expectations for this build. It better blow me away, which I'm sure it will. But it looks pretty cool. All right, guys. So what we're going to do, like we always do, a time-lapse build, a review, and find a spot for it to gather dust somewhere on the shelf, right? That's all it's going to really do. It's definitely a display set for sure. So I'm thinking we're probably not going to be using it to type up any of our papers, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And we are back. Here is the LEGO Ideas Typewriter, all complete. It took about 4 to 4.5 hours to complete this thing from start to finish. Not bad if you consider the amount of pieces that you get with this thing. Now, looking at this thing at first glance, you wouldn't believe that this is a LEGO set. It looks so much like a real typewriter that you'd have to take 2, maybe even 3 looks to realize that this is actually made from LEGO bricks. I think the color scheme on this thing helped that a lot. The sand green, in my opinion, is very indicative of appliances from that era. Looking at the keys here in the front, these are all printed elements, and thank goodness for that. So not a lot of stickers with this thing, but there are some. There's actually just 2 stickers with this thing. There is one here at the front that says System, and then one here on the back as well. When we opened up the box, we were surprised to find that there were 2 different instruction booklets of different sizes. However, upon further examination, we noticed that the smaller booklet was just simply a letter, a 1-page letter, mind you, to the LEGO fan about the typewriter. What they have here is the same letter in 43 different languages. So the idea is that you find the letter that is in your language, you rip it out of this book, and you feed it into your typewriter as part of the display. Pretty clever. Now, as for the build experience with this thing, I would say it was very good. You're going to do a lot of snot building with this thing, as you can tell from the exterior of this thing. When you are building the exterior, you feel like you're going really fast because, well, you are. But it's when you get to the inside of this thing, there's a lot of technical build going on that really feels like you're going slow because you are going slow. You got to get all these little pieces just right to make sure this thing actually works there in the end. So that being said, let's go ahead and do a working demonstration of this thing and see how it works and compares to a real typewriter. Time to take this thing on a test drive and test my typing skills, which I will admit I don't really have. Now, as far as the keys here, the ones that don't really do anything that are for show are the Shift key, backspace, Shift lock, and the Shift key, as well as the space bar. They all have give, but they don't do anything. No magic happens up here, right? So let's go ahead and type in my name, A-L-E-X, space, N-U-N-E-S, space. All right, Alex Nunes. And then we go up here, and the carriage has moved over. We're going to push it back, and it's ready for the next line. I think it goes about 13 keys. Let's count them to see when our carriage actually stops and when we have to push it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that one moved a little slower, so it's slowing down already. 11, 12, 13. Ooh, it moved a little bit. I think that's 14. I think that's it. Yep. And then we have to push our carriage back to begin typing on the next line. So as far as the functions up here, you'll notice that there's only one hammer moving, and that's the one here in the middle. And it looks pretty good. I will say that sometimes their hammer doesn't like to return back to its position right here as quickly. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. That is pretty cool looking. All these other hammers are just for looks only, and I gotta say, they look pretty darn good. The carriage does have a feeder right here. I'll demonstrate that with the paper in just a moment here. You have this little ribbon. This is a Lego ribbon that comes with it, of course. And you have the red and black here. There's a switch right here you can switch back and forth with. This is, of course, for show only. It doesn't really have any real function to anything back here. And let me turn this thing around here as well. I believe you can remove the carriage if I lift up carefully. I haven't done this before. Maybe you're not supposed to. Nope, looks like it took some stuff with it. Yeah, there we go. So I think this right here is supposed to stay down on it like that. So that is, so let me start typing some here. You can kind of see how this is all working. There's a lot of gears going on right here, and that's kind of the heart of the typewriter right here. And there is, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to dissect this a little bit here. If I can get this out of the way here too, maybe that too. You can see that there's a little fan right here. That way as you type, it allows it to only move by just a little bit, right? So we push this back here, and it winds back up again. We start typing. So as it starts from that position, it's the strongest, right? It's working against these hydraulics right here that are pushing it. So as I push up against it, it winds it up, and then we begin the process all over again. Very strong. Boop, 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 boop. All the way towards the end. See, that's when it gets really weak. It doesn't really want to move anymore, and that's when we gotta push it this way, and it's ready to go again. Now, since I have this thing torn apart already, let me see if I can further dissect it just a little bit, not too crazy. Get that out of the way. That's how that all goes together. That's almost the last thing you put in there. Now you can really see just the amazing interior of this thing. It's really a shame that this is all stuff that you really can't see once this thing is built, because this is really the most impressive part. And this is what I was talking about, that takes a lot more time to put together. But you want to make sure to take your time, get it right, don't miss any pieces, don't have to backtrack, and then you're in good shape. So every key, no matter what, pushes up against this entire bar. And you'll notice that it's got that. It's not pushing it right here. It's actually down here. It's pulling it down. It's a really clever way to make this all come together. And I love how it sounds like a real typewriter. You know, I got everything off, but once it's all back together and we're typing from the front, it does sound very much like an old school typewriter. All right, you guys. Now, just for fun, let's go ahead and get my letter out. Now, this does actually have a pre-cut area at the top here, so this shouldn't be too difficult to tear out. Oh, sweet. That worked really, really well. Thank goodness. I was afraid I was going to rip it. So let's see. Moment of truth. Does Alex know how to use a typewriter? I think, let's see, if it has to go, I think the feed has to go this way, right? I've never used one of these in real life. I mean, I have, but I saw it more as a toy. Probably drove my mom crazy. There we go. Now it's feeding it. Nope, I'm not getting it. Oh, there we go. I have to push it a little bit further. There we go. Oop, oop, oop. There it is. There it is. I was like, oh no, it's not working. Okay. So let's type. Move the camera up here a little bit. All right. So let's begin typing. Let's see. Please subscribe. All right, so what we're gonna do is have it go out a little bit like that, make it look super cool, maybe put it a little bit in the middle. There we go. And I think that's how we'll display it. Take a quick look at the instruction booklet. One instruction booklet, pretty thick, considering the size of this thing. And some history, of course, about just the Christiansen family and how old Kirk here had one on his desk many years ago. Some cool images of old typewriters. And here is information about, of course, the man behind the keys, different variations of the typewriter. But I think they nailed it with the final version. Good job on that. And we go right into build here. 11 different sections here. And I think at the end, it goes right into the inventory of pieces, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here they are. And here on the back cover, we have, I like this, the QWERTY keys. I love that. That's pretty funny. So that is the instruction booklet. Now, before we take this downstairs to display, let's take a look at the some different angles of this thing. So, like the piano, sometimes the keys are not exactly straight across like you'd like, especially if you put it at an angle. I mean, you're not going to display it like this, but you'll notice that some of the keys like to pop up on you there. And let's look underneath it right here as well. Move the camera a little bit. And a very solid build underneath this thing. This is open, obviously, right here. So when you are on the, when you have it on your table typing, you'll see the table below it, obviously. But all in all, this thing is pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and bring this downstairs and put it on display. So here we are down in the office, and of course here is the typewriter right here on display. And I gotta say, this thing looks really good on the shelf here in the office. A really good display set next to these more modern day machines. And I gotta say, the office here is really becoming a hodgepodge of different, various different Lego sets and themes. But yeah, that's okay. Even got the Statue of Liberty down here on the fridge. And yes, I need to build those heads still. We'll get to it soon enough here. But wanted to make sure we got our typewriter built. So let me know what you guys think of the New Ideas typewriter, if you guys will be picking this thing up as well. Let me know. I'd be happy to see what you guys think. And we'll, of course, have some more stuff in the near future. Until then, you guys have a great day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.